So, basically, for the highest level pattern, we want these legs working more like they do when we throw. In other words, we want the leg to load and then begin to unload before the front foot comes down, which is what we do when we throw. Obviously, the front foot is more square when we hit than when we throw, but we got to get a little bit more out of that back leg. So more of a throwing pattern, out of the lower half. And that's really what we want to also try to get out of the upper half, is a little bit more of a throw-like pattern, okay? And, real quickly with the upper half, anytime we don't get the drive we need out of the back leg, what happens with the upper half is that it begins to work too soon, and it has to try to do too much to power the swing. So we start to see the torso and the arms begin to come forward too soon and work too much early on in the process, okay? And that's because we didn't get a good drive out of the back leg. One quick note before I don't mention it, and kind of staying with the legs here. Kyle, when we load here with the back leg, we want to feel like that back knee stays a little bit more in front of our back foot. You see how your toe kind of points towards the catcher here, and that knee is kind of getting over your back foot. We really want to keep that knee inside of the back foot, okay? Now moving to the upper half and kind of looking at what the throwing pattern is, of the upper half. Focus on Adrian's back arm here, okay? And watch how his elbow works up, kind of like he's pulling that ball out of the glove, and then there's a sidearm throw of the barrel at the ball, okay? Again, just kind of watch how the elbow works up, then the elbow works into the ball, okay? And then that arm really throws the barrel out behind the baseball. Okay, when we take a look at what your back arm is doing, we don't have quite the load there. And then as the as the back arm begins to work, the hands and elbow kind of come at the same time. You can see Adrian's elbow kind of work in, whereas your hands kind of stay out in front of the elbow. In other words, your elbow stays back behind the hands. Your elbow doesn't slot in front. Okay? And so Adrian has more of a throwing pattern here, whereas your hands your elbow stays behind the hand, and a little bit more of a pushing pattern. So we look here from this position now as the hands go out. Watch Adrian's back arm as it throws out, contact, and then within about 4 or 5 frames after contact, he's pronated over the top. That top hand is thrown over. Okay, whereas you're making contact, and then you're still kind of pulling your arms around in a circle, okay? And that your back arm doesn't really finish until your arms are out here behind you, okay? So that there's a difference in the way that his arm is finishing this throw as compared to the way your arms are kind of just pulling the barrel around, in a circle. And your hands don't turn over until they're way over here behind you, okay? So, overall, we want to feel like our back arm is closer to throwing the barrel behind the ball and feeling our hands hit the ball, feeling our hands throw through contact, snap through contact, as opposed to feeling like, what we've got here is more like the shoulders and arms are spinning through contact, okay? So the easy cue here is hit the ball with your hands, not your arms. Okay? Hit the ball with your hands, not your arms. And you can really see his hands work through the ball. Contact, the arm is about in this position, but immediately after contact, that arm is going to straighten and those hands are going to turn over. Okay? Alright, lastly, the front side, which again is that wall that we really want to hit against and behind that wall on the front side. So we want this back leg driving laterally, but then we want to keep our head back behind this front side. And you can see how Adrian has this nice clean tilt here, whereas we're getting a little bit of this more jackknife position here. The game swing looks, a little better there. I think we're a little more leveraged in the game swing. You can still see we're getting a lot of foot turning open here, but I think we've got a little bit better angle here, but still not quite the tilt that we want to get. We still got more of a straight up torso. So you want to feel like knee stays behind the foot, hip behind the knee, shoulder behind the hip, and head behind everything. So, again, even though we're going to try, Kyle, to work on better drive from the backside, we want to hit way behind that front side. In other words, you want to feel like your knee stays way behind that foot, and you want to feel like your hands fire, behind that front knee is really kind of what you want to feel. Okay, so really set up that wall on the front side, drive into it and hit behind it. Hit behind that strong front side. You can see Adrian there, we're off the back. That's what ultimately we want to get. We want to drive off the back, but hit behind the front. Here's a little one-arm movement. This is one of my professionals that really does encompass the whole swing. If you can do this, you can have the perfect swing. First of all, look at the throwing pattern of the back arm. The elbow, again, as we just kind of let it play through here, the elbow works up to the ball, and then that hand finishes. Okay, meaning again, as we play it back, that elbow is going to work up. Okay, it's going to slot in. Okay, the palm stays up, barrel stacked over the hands. Okay, and then on the finish, that hand is going to get contact over the top, and then we're going to get extension out of that arm. Okay, again, if we look at the footwork, okay, back leg, there's a very simple back attack to the back side. Okay, so again, very simple, and then you can easily see the tilt on the front side. As he really maintains, as he gets into that front side, that tilted front side. And again, on the finish, we have two rules: stay tilted and finish your top hand. And again, we want more tilt than turn. And you can see here, Mark is really finishing that hand without letting the shoulder fly open. So we're not getting, he's cracking the whip here. We're not getting that excessive shoulder turn. Okay, there's a bit of a we're really fighting shoulder turn here. We really want to learn to control that. There's a bit of an exaggeration on this. Shoulders probably turn a little more than that in reality. But this is the drill. If you can perform this drill, get the throwing pattern down with that top hand. Get the throwing pattern down. Back leg, back, attack. You're staying square with your feet. Okay, and you're staying tilted on that front side, really learning to throw against or behind that strong front side. So if you can perform this movement, you can have the perfect swing. Okay, again, you map out that throwing arm, and then you put the simple 1-2 move with that back leg. Again, 1-2. Okay, watch the back leg, back, attack. Feet are staying straight ahead. You're staying tilted and finishing that top hand as you finish, hitting behind that wall on the front side.